You're on your own. You lost me again. Everybody has lost me. Nobody has said anything that I even kind of agree with. These people are really pushing me to my limit. This is evil. Like, there's sinister energy inside the phone.
Swiftie card.
Pull it out.
Swiftie card.
Pull
Show
it out.
to me.
Show it to me
Rachel.
now.
Terrible.
It was just wrong.
Terrible.
It was just wrong.
Terrible.
Evil, slimy. It was
Girls.
malicious, and it was cruel to send that into us.
You all know that if you call into the snake hotline, you might get bit. When you put your hand in the viper's pit, sometimes you get out. Welcome back to the evolution of a snake. I'm Zach.
And I'm Madeline.
And this is our monthly call-in segment where we answer your questions. We're doing it a little bit differently today. We are reacting to your unpopular Taylor Swift opinions, which I think is a good way to spice up the format. And if you want more of Phone a Snake, we do an extra Phone a Snake every single week that is just personal questions, getting a little to know us a little bit more. And you can find that weekly behind the paywall. So patreon.com/Swiftologist is where you need to be, period.
Shaking the cup.
We gotta shake the cup.
We have to. We don't have a
shake the
choice.
cup.
We don't have a choice.
If you like the work, you shake the cup. Now,
Exactly.
I think I should start with something that's really going to gag and chill Madeline to the core of her being.
Hi, Snakes. Starting off, I love the podcast. This is my first voicemail. Zach, don't you dare cut your hair. Thank you. My first unpopular opinion is I think Reputation is her worst album. Yeah, I said it. The whole thing about it, like, being this vindictive, secret love story is, like, it's a weird concept, and I feel like it's executed well, but I just do not like the album. And I don't get why the rep stands for so ride or die for it, when Red is right there. Red is right there. Come on. Do better. I'd much rather get Debut TV than Reputation Taylor version. But that's another story for another day. I think Exile feat Bon Iver is a really overrated song, and it's so bad to me, and people, like, ride for it. And I feel like I'd like it more if it wasn't like, oh my god, I was outside the stadium when she played Exile, and I'm gonna cry, and, like, shut up, Maddie Bratz. Okay.
And that's how it cuts off?
My next one...
There's more.
I don't think this is going to be my last voicemail, so... My Falls in Love is a really dumb song, and I hate it so much. I'm not going to continue that. I'm just going to say I hate it. And my final unpopular opinion is that I love the song Dorothea. I lost my childhood best friend in high school, and I think about her a lot. And this is targeted at you, Zach. You should like Dorothea anyways. Love the podcast. Thank you. Bye.
I was literally
That was like a
booing.
firing squad.
I was thumbs downing while he was like, my best friend died, and I had to wind it in. I had to be like, oops.
Well,
take that back.
because he attacked everything.
Well, my childhood best friend didn't die, so
and
I
then
can still
talked
hate
it off.
Dorothea.
Well, hold on a second. Listen, I don't even know where to begin. I guess let's just start at the top. So number one, my main takeaway from the Reputation comment is, why are we comparing Red and Reputation? If you want to compare, like, if you want to do let's compare Taylor Swift records, you have to compare Reputation to at least 1989
or Lover.
Midnights or Lover or something like that. Why Red? That is just not right. That's just wrong. I mean, am I wrong
Red
about
and
this?
Rep are like
just...
the two extremes of what a Taylor Swift album can be like. There is nothing on Red that is even like, I think even We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together is too bright and happy to be on Reputation. I also, you know what? The reasoning for why Reputation sucks is not clear because you said that the concept was executed well. So you agree. You think she's really pretty.
Oh, so you agree? You think she's really pretty? Interesting. And also, it's like, you don't have to like Reputation. Like, it's fine. If it's your least favorite Taylor record, that's your right. What I want to know is, why are you so mad at other people's joy?
Yeah.
I'm asking you.
The joy thief. Why would you take that away from someone?
Why are you taking that away from me? That's what I want to know. Me specifically. Not just anybody. Me.
Well, we asked, to be fair. We said, tell us. And now we're saying stop.
I also feel like Reputation is such an interesting record. Here's a little bit of backstory on me and my personal journey of Reputation. I didn't really like it that much when it first came out. It's one of those kinds of albums that I feel like either like grows on you or it doesn't. You know what I mean? Either you get it or you don't. And
Well,
so it
I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually went to the Reputation secret session.
right. Mhm.
So I have my own personal connection with Reputation. And I personally liked it on a first listen. I thought it was good. I think that Reputation is the most experimental she's ever going to be, ever again,
And
probably, in
that's why
terms of
people
like a
should
pop
appreciate it.
sound.
And that's why
Exactly.
people should be lining up.
It's the blueprint.
Instead, they're saying tomato, tomato. And it's like, I guess in a sense, it makes sense that some people who are Swifties are going to tomato, tomato, but that's because they don't realize what they're never going to get again. You're never
You
going to
know
see
how I
that
know
again.
it's good? It really hasn't dated itself. And that was a
Mm.
concern that I had when it came out. I was like, ooh, is this going to sound really dated 10 years later? And I'm saying no. I'm
I'm
trying to think
saying
of
no.
moments that might be a little dated. I mean, there are a couple of turns of phrase here and there that are a little outdated, but I'd say all of the songs sonically hold up. The only one that sounds very, very 2017 is Dancing with Our Hands Tied. That to me has a very specific production, but I don't think that it's bad. And also, the acoustic version of Dancing with Our Hands Tied shows you that it's an incredible song, regardless of the production. So it's aged gorgeously.
I think it's aged gorgeously, and I think that you're wrong. And that's that
Mm-hmm.
on that. So what was the next thing he said? I hate Exile featuring Bon Iver. I have no
Okay,
opinion about that. If you want
sure,
to
Jan.
hate it away. I have no strong feeling towards Exile. It's one of those songs where if it disappeared tomorrow, I probably wouldn't know a thing. You know what I mean?
It is, I would say, my least favorite out of the Bon Iver collabs. Well, yeah, I guess it wouldn't be my favorite one, but I was very excited to hear it when it first came out, and I had a moment with it. Like when it first came out, I was really obsessed, and I liked it because I liked the last time. So Exile kind of like fills in that gap, but it's a little too slow. Like when it gets to its crescendo, I'm clapping, but I don't want to hear. I really am not interested in hearing a minute of Bon Iver before I get to my Queen Taylor Swift.
No, it's just not interesting to me. And that's all
It's
I
got to
I know
start
that
with her.
the comment that was made is kind of true. I remember when Folklore first came out, it was not August that was the supermodel, it was indeed Exile. People were
Mm-hmm.
obsessed, specifically with that outro. So step right out, there is no
Yep.
amount. I don't
They
care.
were gagged. They were
I don't care.
gagged. They were gagged. I think it was just the credibility that lent to Taylor to have Bon
Oh,
Iver want to do a song with
well,
her. A
period.
certain subset of people that are inclined to not take the HBIC seriously were very interested
Lest
in
we
that.
forget. Lest we forget. There was a
We'll never
time.
forget. We won't
We
forget.
will never forget. Oh
Hold on
no,
to that
that's in
one
my memory for
forever.
life. Oh yeah.
Being more excited for debut than Reputation TV is
That
kind
was
of
just
kooky to
demented.
me because debut is really most inclined to flop.
Let's call it what it is. The only reason that I'm looking forward to debut TV in terms of the actual re-recordings is because some
Mm-hmm.
of the songs could really use a little bit of help in the vocals department, but otherwise I'm not clamoring for that. I'm not clamoring
No.
for a 32, 33-year-old woman to be logging in and saying, "Stay beautiful, Corey's eyes are like a jungle, he smiles." I don't
I
really
mean,
need
I'm
to be tuned
seated.
into that.
I
Oh,
am. We
well,
were
I'll be
seated.
there. That's the thing. I have no
It's
choice, but
still one of the greatest things.
I would rather hear a 33-year-old woman say, "See you in the dark, all eyes on me, you're illusionist."
Say that. Say that. And the debut vault, let me just let you know, if you know anything about anything, is going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. She's going to pick the wrong songs. We know already what's going in it. There couldn't possibly be a song that was not leaked in some form that could be included as a vault track. So therefore, they're not really from the vault. However, Reputation Vault,
Oh,
now
it's
those are
loaded. I
vaults.
know it's a
They're
loaded baked potato.
locked.
It has the sour cream, the chives, the bacon,
Mhm.
everything, cheese,
Perfect
broccoli.
degree of cookage. We're ready.
Exactly. And I'm ready to consume that baked potato.
So I was kind of gagged by that rapid fire of questions.
It was very good. It was a firing squad.
A good start. I think this one also is very interesting, and it had me thinking when I was screening it. So I'm curious to get your take on.
Hi, Zach and Madeline. Love you both. I wrote a script on this because I don't know how I'm going to do this. Wish me luck. My unpopular opinion about Taylor is that she's unknowable by design, and it's not helpful, and it's frustrating. She's secretive about her understanding with politics. My personal opinion is that she should talk about politics somewhat regularly. Not that regularly, but more strategically than she does. Or she's secretive about what makeup she wears. Her makeup artist, Lori Turk, keeps that shit on lock. She's secret about her intentions within the industry, whether she wants to be a writer or a director or God knows, like a playwright. Because I recently read that article about a girl named Girl, a novel that she had in 2015. Like, what the what is that? Ugh, I noticed I never can stop thinking about her because of it. And if I had these answers, she would fade away from my mind. But because she chooses to be unknowable, she's mysterious and inspiring because she's beloved. I don't believe it serves her because I don't believe her goal should be making as much money as she makes. Her choice to be unknown makes her less human and more frightening as a billionaire, and that's predatory on my attachment to her, in my opinion. Recently, Selena Gomez mentioned Taylor in a Vanity Fair article, saying that they compare notes after watching Vanderpump Rules, which sounds innocuous, but then I got upset because I never expected Taylor to watch Vanderpump Rules. If I knew more about Taylor, I think I would have never gotten upset in the first place. Oh my god.
That shocked me. Not it's predatory for her not to tell me what makeup she uses.
Here now, I know that we can't talk to this person, but my first question that comes to my mind after listening to that is, when did you become a fan? That's a very important question to me. It is so important to me to know that, because what you're explaining, I do think that there's a kernel of truth to it, but that was not true pre-1989. Pre-1989, I felt like I could have predicted what she was watching, what she liked. And when she said, it's like, oh, my favorite movie is Love Anything, we used to get those kinds of informations. So I don't think all the time. So I do understand, like, she's completely unknowable. I don't, maybe I'm just like completely biased just because of how long I've been in the zone. Do I feel like I know who she is at this very second? Do I know what she's thinking? Well, no. Is it for me to know, though? That's my question. Am I allowed to know? Should I know? Do I need to know? That's my question to you.
Is it any of my goddamn business?
That's my question to you.
I think, okay, so I also, when I was listening to the question, was like, I'm getting a sense of you joined fairly recently because you mentioned a 2015 novel called Girl Named Girl. That's not what that is. Girl Named Girl is a novel that she wrote when she was like 11 or 12 years old for fun, that she gave to her mom. And there has been a bizarre rumor that she has somehow decided to release it or release it for the first time to the public. And to that I say, why the hell would she, in all of her projects and things that she has to focus on as the biggest musician in the world, why would she release a novel that she wrote as a young girl now? And there were people being like, oh, it's in tandem with debut TV. It has nothing to do with debut TV. This was like way pre-debut. This is child life. And people have been like, oh, she copyrighted it. And I think people also don't understand how copyright works, because a lot of the times you just do a defensive trademark. So a defensive trademark just means that if anybody tries and steals this idea that you had or this title that you created once upon a time, you can then sue them for that. And because the name Girl Named Girl is out in the public domain, because Taylor has talked about it in interviews, she has a whole team of copyright lawyers that are copywriting shit left, right, and center. So there is nothing to that. Like, that Girl Named Girl thing is just nonsense. I think people are bored and they're like making stuff up. That's not coming from anywhere. So if your confusion about this 2015 novel is that you feel like she's unknowable, well, that's actually, if you know, an easily debunkable thing, right? I think the piece about her being unknowable and it being predatory was, it's actually more predatory for her to make us think that we know her. That's way more sinister. That's the parasocial connection times 100. That's what she used to do back in the day when she would say, I love you to fans, to fans. I love you. I'm going to send you a package and talk to you about your childhood traumas and never speak to you ever again. That,
well,
that is, if we're I don't think it's predatory, but if we're talking about things that are predatory,
right,
that feels more exploitative than what you're saying here.
and that's just those kinds of things, girlies, you gotta kiss it goodbye. I still see people talking about, when's Taylor gonna start sending packages to fans again?
Never.
When's Taylor gonna invite us backstage? When's Taylor gonna invite us into her house? It's like, oh, girls, the pandemic is just like a good excuse. That's what you don't get. It's not like when some magical time, there's going to be a magic day where everything's over and we get to all like go to Taylor Swift's house. No, it's over.
That's
now.
finished.
You don't get that?
Era of time has concluded.
That's over. And it went on for too long, in my opinion. That's my truth. Lover should have never happened.
Well, no, the Lover sessions were a mess.
Were a mess.
They were a mess.
And that's why.
And she clearly was not enjoying doing them. It was like the factory farm version of a secret session. There were so many people. It was chaotic. Yeah, not great. But I think also like wanting to know like what her makeup is and all of that. That I think is like a fair thing to wonder. But
Well,
also,
why is it a secret? Is
is
that
it
true? Like she won't
necessary?
tell us? I mean, don't
It's
we know that
well,
she uses
this is
Too-Faced better than sex? Do we not know that?
well,
I know that.
this is dramatic, right? This is over dramatic because we do know that she has certain makeup favorites, but what we know is stuff that we know from a long time ago. So yeah, I'm sure her makeup artist isn't being like, here's my kit for every event that I do with Taylor Swift. But like, I don't think that that is like a Fort Knox situation. I also, you know, we know what perfume she wears. She wears Tom Ford Santal blush, in case you were wanting to know. Knowing that she watches Vanderpump Rules is hilarious to me. That's a detail that I didn't know until this actual moment, and I love to know that. But again, I could live without knowing that. It doesn't really change anything that I feel about her to know that she watches Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah, so I guess my response to the unpopular opinion is you lost me. You lost me.
And there was something about politics in there as well. And I was like,
Oh,
what
she
does
was
that have to
saying-
do with it?
How does that make her unknowable? I guess is my question. Like, do you feel like you don't know what Taylor thinks about certain political things? If that matters to you, I mean, certain things do matter to me. I'll like put it out on the table, but now I don't wonder because now
Well, because you know the answers.
because
to
I
the
know the
things.
answers. I mean, are there some things that we may never know because she may never comment on? Maybe, but I don't. It doesn't keep me awake. I'll put it that way.
But also, she might be unknowable in the sense that we don't know superfluous details about her life, like her true personal life, like what she watches
Right.
and what she reads. Like those are things that are for her. She shares her deepest, most terrifying and humiliating thoughts with us. For example, torture poets. So, you know,
Right.
that makes her feel very knowable to me in a specific instance. And that's kind of the way that I want to know her. I feel like I get freaked out when I think about Taylor Swift, like the person, the human being, because it's none of my business. I speculate sometimes, but at the end of the day, like I want her to have a life that's just for her because she's a person.
Right. I think that this is coming from a place of like she's the biggest star in the world and she's everywhere, and yet I don't know what she does when she goes home after the tour, and like does she get a milkshake, does she get a hamburger, does she sit in silence and power down like a robot? You don't need to know those things, my friend. You don't need to know. If she
I
does,
like the
that's her
mystique.
business. Me
The
too.
mystique
I don't need
kind
to
of
know.
adds to it. And it makes the little details that she chooses to reveal feel very interesting. Like when we got
Yep.
that thing about after the Eras tour, how she just stays in bed for 3 days and orders takeout. I love to hear that.
And that's all I need to know. Don't need any more information. I prefer information
and also,
given
how would
willingly.
she share it? How would she
Yeah,
share
who
this
cares?
information? She doesn't
If
do
she-
interviews.
Would you log into Instagram and like start posting stories like I do? You don't want
Well,
that.
that's never going to happen.
You
We've been
don't
there.
want that.
We've been there.
Oh, yep.
You don't want that. It
Yep.
only leads to nonsense, I would say. The more access you give, the more opportunities there are for people to like poke chinks in your armor. So
Yeah.
I think she's very deliberately keeping it professional. And I mean, she's being very public with her relationship. That's a pretty knowable thing.
Yeah. I think that, again, you lost me. You just lost me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop. You're losing me. Okay, let's do another one. God, you guys are really on, fire. We said unpopular and you said, yes, unpopular with the snakes.
I don't actually know how unpopular this is, but I at least don't see it talked about very often, so I wanted to bring it here. But I worry about the new material for Taylor's albums a lot because I feel like it's either going to feel like relentless rehashing of the same ideas, like what we saw on the anthology with Thank You, Amy, or it has to be this like lovey-dovey Travis Kelce is the best boyfriend ever trope, which I think could get really boring. And I think she kind of shot herself in the foot with branding Folklore and Evermore as completely made up stories, only to later reveal that there was like quite a bit of autobiographical storytelling in those albums. I just don't think she can paint an album as fiction again without everyone being like, sure, Jan. Anyway, thank you. Love the pod.
But
Well, let me ask you a very fair question. Who revealed what?
I was just about to say that.
What? Revealed
decided
what
that.
when? We decided that.
We,
She's
the
never said
fans.
anything. And in my estimation, here's my take on she can never release an album and call it fictional again. My tea is maybe those things, maybe some things on Folklore and Evermore were her own experiences, but they were still filtered through fiction. So
Ivy
I
is a
don't
fictional scenario, girls.
I don't. Yeah, it's completely fictional. She was never alive in 1666. I don't know if you did.
Cowboy
Did
like
you know
me?
that? Not
She's
real.
not a cowboy. She lives in
So
Manhattan. She lives in
I
Tribeca.
think it's of no never mind to me. Like, I don't really care. Will never believe her. Believe her or don't. Is the music good? Well, yes. Then I'm turning it up. I don't need to believe her. Does that make any sense? I don't need it to be the truth or a lie. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm
I
turning it
think
up.
more what they're worried about, it seems to me from this unpopular opinion, is that she's going to get stale or run out of material. And to that I say, when has that ever happened? Because
They've been
Lover
saying this
is
forever.
Lover is the best
I
example of her running out of material, and that still has some really excellent, like, career high songs on that record. The one that we're in most danger of, I guess, like having a decline in quality, was definitely Midnight's. But we understand now that it was kind of like a transitional album. Not every album is going to be like a huge reinvention. Sometimes we're going from one place to another. I kind of feel like that about Tortured Poets. And using Thank You, Amy as an example of, you know, all the material becoming tired, that's one song out of 30. That's one song out of 30 songs. And there's plenty on Tortured Poets and the anthology that is new and is shocking and is interesting.
Completely agree. I don't. Again, these people are losing me. They're losing me. I'm not worried about. I'm really not concerned about TS12 being tired, even if it is like Lover 2.0 about Travis. To me,
I'll have it.
I will have it. And to me, it's completely different because, first of all, the muse will be different, which is, I mean, that's a huge factor. Her life is different now. Her situations are different. Her outlook on her situations is different. She is a growing, changing person, even if it doesn't seem like it to the outside observer. So I'm not really I'm just not concerned. I remember back in the day when people would be concerned about Taylor going too pop, going too country, either which direction. People always used to say, like, you guys just have to trust Taylor because everything she does is going to be perfect in the end. And I've come around 360 on that. I'm back there. I am back there 100%.
You're at never forget the essence of Taylor, so spark, because
Exactly.
I'll never stay the same, but I'll never change either. I'll never change, but I'll
Exactly.
never stay the same. She won't.
And
Nonsensical,
that's
but true.
Think about how true it has been, and that's the scary
We have
part.
clowned on that, and it's real, and it's scary,
It's real.
and I'm
And it's
frightened
frightening.
of it.
Mhm.
But also consider, like, all of the love songs in Taylor's discography. Do you think all, because it's not like being in love is an experience she's only had 2 times. There are love songs on every album. Is Love Story and Call It What You Want and Lover and I don't know, what's another love song?
It's Nice to Have a
us
Friend,
blanking.
False
Enchanted.
God, Enchanted,
Are all of those
Sparks
songs
Fly.
the same? Do those seem boring to you? Is there
Not to me, baby.
variation? Well, yes,
Not to me.
every love, like you mentioned, Madeline, is different, which is why if you really want to get down to the nuts and bolts of it, she's always writing about the same thing over and over. Break up love, break up love, break up love, basically, with exceptions along the way. But in every iteration of it, it looks different because relationships between people are so different. You can't even really compare them. I mean, the way that she was writing about Joe versus the way that she was writing about Maddie is completely different for a number of reasons.
Even think about the way that she was writing about Joe on Lover versus how she was writing about Joe on Reputation. Pretty different. So I just think...
And what Midnight's, how she revealed that, So Long London, the tone of that compared to the tone of like a Cornelia Street. I mean, relationships evolve, people change. And like, I just don't get worried about Taylor's artistic evolution as a writer because I really believe in her talent. And like, maybe that's just a hand heart moment, but that's the one thing that like really sustains me through everything of being a Swiftie. It's like,
Me too.
I know she's incredible. I know that she's, I don't doubt her on that.
I know that she's going to be writing strong, and I have faith. I do trust Taylor. I'm saying it. Trust Taylor.
Do I think she will have another terrible album cover? Yes. Do I think she will have another terrible music video? Yes. Do I think that she's going to be a great filmmaker? Probably not. Do I think she's ever going to run out of material? No.
No, it's endless, baby. It is truly endless. And I'm seeing it.
I never wonder that. I never wonder that. Well, there we go. Hand heart on Evolution of a Snake. More likely than you think. This is what you guys do to us. You push us to cupcake.
I go cupcake. Oh, yeah. I'm frosted.
Let's do something a little bit fun, a little blue in our hair for the Teen Vogue party to just lift our spirits.
Hi, Snakes. My unpopular opinion about Taylor Swift is kind of a weird one. I think that she is a bad cat owner. I mean, don't get me wrong. They live a good life, the 3 cats. If Meredith is still alive, we don't know. But I don't think that she personally engages with them as much as we are led to believe. I believe that they are kind of used as part of her persona at this point. Maybe around Lover was the last time she truly took care of her cats, and I'm sure she and Joe spent time with them, but I don't know. I really see her just handing them off to cat nannies and being an absentee mother. Thank you.
What was she doing in the pandemic then?
That's
Girl,
crazy.
she was with those cats 24/7.
Girl, you should have used the Google voice changer on that one, because that was one of the craziest things I've ever heard. New conspiracy theory, new tin hat. Taylor does not take care of her cats. Okay.
First of all, cats are not children. They don't need to have a skin-on-skin time every day. They don't need to go to school. They are just cats. I feel like Taylor, when she responded, someone was like, would you ever write a song about your cats? And she was like, no, they're just cats. That's how I feel with this response. Like, yes. Do I think Taylor is waking her cats up every day, holding them all day long, lowering them into the litter box, sweeping the litter box herself, and then falling asleep with them in her arms? Well, no. But who does that?
I don't even do that.
Do you do that with Chester, Madeline?
No, and I have more time. That's the thing. I'm less busy. I have more time to be doing that, and I'm still not doing that because he's not interested. That's the T. He's not interested in that behavior.
We also know that the cats go everywhere. We have been knowing that. They're always in a bag somewhere. They're on the PJ. Yep. They're literally on the PJ. We just don't see her anymore. We don't see her traveling. She doesn't do, I'm going to the airport vibes anymore. It's into the cleaning cart, and there they go. And the cats are in there with her.
Yeah, so that's kind of crazy. I've never thought about that before. I've never considered to myself, those aren't her cats. Like that's like the nanny's cat. I've never thought that before. That's truly an unpopular opinion.
There's so many like home videos of her like at like 1 a.m. watching Criminal Minds in her bed with her cats there, and they seem happy and comfortable. The one thing
she's a bad cat owner.
Wonder is she going to tell us if Meredith dies? I would like to know. I actually need to know. That's actually part of my business.
Well, I mean, another tin hat conspiracy theory, probably one of the only other ones that I know about our cats, is that Meredith is already dead. And to that I say...
This caller mentioned it too. They were like, Meredith, if she's alive.
If she's alive. And I don't... here's what I think. I think that if Taylor wants to share with us the passing of Meredith, which I think that she probably would. That's my tea.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying she would write some eulogy on Instagram for us all to enjoy, but I think she would probably... It would come out eventually, like, actually Meredith passed away. And then we would say, R.I.P. R.I.P. What do you want me to say? But this... Taylor doesn't take care of her cats. You're on your own. You lost me again. Everybody has lost me. Nobody has said anything that I even kind of agree with.
I told you, it's really intense today. Why don't we move on from bad cat owner and move to something more serious and terrifying?
My unpopular opinion is that I'm not really excited for Reputation Taylor's version. I'm actually not really excited for either Taylor's version recording of Debut or Reputation, because I'm kind of over the Taylor's version recordings, and I would want to hear more of like new music or just have her do other things rather than being stuck in the past with the re-recordings.
With all due respect, shut up. Be
what now?
Quiet,
Tiffany. How come nobody can ever just sit and eat their food?
You're saying you don't want extra food? You're saying I don't want a dessert with my dinner? Are you good?
Here's my thing. If you're saying it's dragging out too long, that I can entertain. I can entertain the re-recordings project is taking too long. I'll entertain you. I mean, it's not Reputation TV, not for the next 6 months. I would bet. And like, this is taking too long now. I'm with you on that. Do I not want them? Absolutely. I want them. And if I have to wait 2 years, I will wait happily 2 years. And if it's one re-recorded in the new project and then one re-recorded in the new project, and then that's what it's going to be, then I smile. Because at the end of the day, people are forgetting. We used to have to wait 2 years for anything new. Do you remember that, Zach? 2 years to even get one new song.
And we weren't getting re-recordings.
No.
In the meantime.
No.
We weren't getting vault tracks.
Mm-mm.
And you know what? I take huge umbrage with this. I will wait. I don't even want the project to end. That's my hot take, because I have gotten the most joy I've ever received from being a fan of anything having the Taylor's Version projects. Even when they flop, even when they're bad, even when I think the songs are like funny, the experience of re-meeting these records that I grew up with and lived with is like nothing I've ever experienced before. It's like ultimate nostalgia. And it was like designed to tickle my brain. So to imagine that we would just not get them and you would be happy to move on to new stuff. I think also the Taylor's Version project, why we are so attached to it, is that it's hugely symbolic of Taylor owning her own work. And, you know, we haha and kiki about like that all the time. But it is so important to me that Taylor owns Teardrops on My Guitar, that she has our song, that, you know, even though they're frozen behind glass, she still got herself somehow. And to not have that is despicable and disgusting.
There was something kind of sinister. There is something kind of sinister about I don't even want it. It's like, really, you don't even want it? What about
You're not a
what about the vault? I mean, you're not interested at all? I find that hard to believe.
You don't care?
What? You don't care. I find that hard to believe.
You don't want to
also,
hear
you don't want
tapping on his window in 2025? You don't want that? Are you okay?
I'm interested. He talks real slow.
I'm just like,
it's late and
hey,
your mama don't know. Are you okay?
No is the answer. Everyone is unwell today.
No,
this is an
it's very
unwell contingent of people.
And I don't agree with the assessment. And what you're telling me that you're not looking forward to, perchance, maybe only on the off chance, in New Orleans, Taylor coming up to do Look What You Made Me Do, and the bodysuit is green instead of red. You're not excited for that. I'm gagging for it personally. Is that going to happen?
You don't want to read
maybe,
her
maybe
prologues? The prologues have gagged me every single time.
I want to read.
Even when I learn nothing new. I just need to hear it again.
Show me your card. When did you join? When did you join? Show me your Swiftie card. I want to see it.
It's reeking of new Swiftie today. It really is. New. More. Well, we're not moving on that quickly. I won't let you. Definitely not. Let's move into another heinous crime.
Hi guys. So my unpopular opinion is that I didn't care that Long Live was cut from the Eras Tour set list. I think it just dragged on the Speak Now set with a song that I don't love. I think if she played something else from Speak Now, like Sparks Fly, or even Last Kiss, I think I would have been sadder to see those go. I just don't like the meaning behind the song. I think the Eras Tour is the place to play it, obviously, but I just think it was a kind of like bland moment that I always just wanted to be over.
You're using the word bland wrong, babe.
So yeah, I also had If This Was a Movie as my surprise song in Minneapolis.
Die.
Love you guys. Bye.
Why would you say that?
Why
would you tack that onto the end? Oh,
just
by the way,
rub it in. Just
I got If This Was a Movie in Minneapolis.
How
here's what I would like to
the Speak Now set drag on when it's only one song?
Well, also you're saying it drags on too long, and then you had the balls to say it should be Last Kiss. Who are you talking to? What are you talking about?
Too long.
That doesn't make any sense. No, Long Live is a feature film. Long Live is a cinematic masterpiece, and if you don't understand that, then I really can't help you. Long Live is a moment for me. Apparently, it's not for you. It's for me.
Well, and you don't have it. You got,
and
actually,
you don't have it.
Like you got it, and you don't deserve it. You don't deserve it.
We should take If This Was a Movie. Like if we should go into your memory, like Eternal Sunshine You, and take that memory from you because you deserve it.
No, you don't. And I think, the Speak Now set is so short as well. Why would you want to cut the only other song that has ever been on it off of it? And
it just doesn't make any sense.
I have to say, Swiftie card, pull it out. Swiftie card,
pull it
out.
To me. Show it to me now.
Send it to me, Rachel.
Yep.
I know that you are a new fan. because I have never once in my life heard someone who was actually around when Speak Now came out say that Long Live was, first of all, boring. Second of
Never
all,
heard that.
a drag on the Eras tour.
Never
People
heard
were
that.
screaming and crying when it got removed, as it should. You don't want to scream, I had the time of my life fighting dragons with you at your childhood hero. You don't want that? Because she wasn't your childhood hero.
I want it every time. I want it every time. I remember when I saw it in Seattle, and I had the screen like right in front of me because I was on side view, and there was that part where she goes with you, and she was pointing at me, and I was pointing at her. Why would you not want that for yourself? Is what I'm asking you. It's because you weren't there. You didn't have the time of your life fighting dragons with her, and I just know that.
It means nothing
and that's
to
fine.
you.
And that's fine, but I'm just saying, pull it out.
You won't be looking at your children one day and saying, this is Taylor Swift. That's not you. And that's not my problem. It is the only moment at the Eras Tour, other than the surprise songs and Marjorie at the very last show, that actually made me cry every time. I was moved to tears every time I heard Long Live. It is everything. And I can't. Terrible.
It was just wrong.
Terrible.
It was just wrong. Evil, slimy. It was malicious, and it was cruel to send that into us. And that's my last word on that.
Why are we doing this to us today? You know what? I hate that. Madeline, this one is actually going to give you an opportunity to go off about something that the people need to hear. So hopefully this will bring our spirits back up and give us some peace.
Hey, Zach and Madeline. I hope you guys are having a lovely day. Sending lots of love from Los Angeles. My name's Jimmy, and my hot take is that I fully believe that The Alchemy is about Travis. Now, let me explain myself. Because there's one lyric that consistently gets pointed to as evidence that it's about Maddie, and that is the line, heroin with an E, all right? But we keep forgetting that our girl, Taylor, is an absolute genius. And she could have turned something like, oh, baby, America's like addicted to you right now. It's almost like heroin. And I've come up with something as beautiful and turned it into something like, she says it's heroin, but this time with an E to describe that moment. I don't know. That's kind of the way that my mind has figured it out. So let me know your thoughts.
Can I speak? I mean this with love and light. That was a low IQ moment.
Oh my gosh. So you know what's so funny is that the first thing, like when he first started talking, my immediate reaction was like, this person goes surfing. This person lives in Venice Beach. And they said, I'm from Los Angeles. And I was like, and you are. And you absolutely
you got a little water in your ear.
Totally
and it went into your brain.
Are. No,
and it sat there for a little too long.
I feel like that is like if Travis Kelce sent in a phone a snake, that is probably what it would be.
That is exactly what it would be.
100%. So, first of all, you're wrong, and I still don't understand. Like, so your proof that this song is 100% about Travis is something that you wrote fan fiction about in your head. So let's start there.
Made that up.
Not to be blunt, but like you made that up. And second of all, you came at the wrong time, because I actually just recently had like a galaxy brain moment. I actually knew and have known since day one that The Alchemy is probably about Maddie. And then I sat my down and I did the Alchemy lyrical analysis, and I came to a very dark conclusion. I mean, a wonderful conclusion, but a dark one nonetheless. For the Tavises, for me, it was business as usual. But for the Tavises, it was a dark, dark day. It was a plane. It was the fourth plane. And here's what I discovered.
You said call the Tavises and cut them from the team.
Call the Tavises and cut them from the team. Well, you're not in the team anymore, because this is 100% a Maddie song. First of all, and this is probably the most compelling piece of evidence, The Alchemy is Fresh Out the Slammer. Like, it's the same song. Fresh Out the Slammer.
Are you hearing that?
Fresh Out the Slammer. The Hospital. The Hospital was a drag. Fresh Out the Slammer. Are you doing the math? Do the math. Are you hearing that? It's the same song. It's about, now, pretty baby, I'm coming back home to you. I'm making a comeback to where I belong.
I can't belong with someone you only just met.
How long? I don't understand, because so much of The Alchemy is about a homecoming and like coming back and like returning to the way it was before.
Circled you
And
on a map.
this time we can make it work. Before we couldn't make it work, but now we can make it work. All that child's play is forgiven, and now we're adults and we can really do this. What does that have to do with Travis?
Nothing.
The only thing that I will accept from the Tavises is I know that it's not about Travis, but I like to think that it is. And you're free to do it. What I'm not going to accept is, no, you're wrong. It's about Travis.
They attack
You're wrong.
us.
It's just not reality.
They think that us saying that means that we hate Tavis and we don't believe in their love and we want them to die.
Wrong.
That's
I
not
take my
true.
pills every day.
That's simply not true.
I take my pills every day. I take my pills every day.
We like Tavis like normal people do, as in observe from afar, cute pics, hee hee ho ho, fun, end of conversation. What we're not going to do is revisionist history. You want a song about Travis, you have one. It's called So High School. Go and listen to it on replay. The Alchemy, for so many reasons, as Madeline has outlined in her episode, is not about Travis Kelce. And this really, really trips wires. And they won't even like reason with what you suggest. The only thing they keep coming back is football. Football. Can you do a little speech about why the football thing is not the evidence they think it is?
So here's the tea of it all. It's a coincidence, and I understand that there's no such thing as a coincidence in Swiftiedom, and she's the mastermind, and everything has a reason, and she's a genius, and you know everything is connected, and her web connects them all. But like the truth is, the double entendre of touchdown being like touchdown, like a touchdown in a game, and a touchdown like my plane is touching down, is just simply that, a double entendre. And she thought it was cute and fun, and she was like, hee hee, call the amateurs and cut them from the team. Like, it's just fun.
That's how songs are
cute,
written.
And it's fun.
Sounds
and
good.
the heroine without the E line, the way that she's like doing like almost like a cheerleader in the background, like I get it. Like I understand why you want it to be about Travis really badly. It is a coinky dinky. It is a straight up coinky dink. And I'll give you, it's a weird one, and it's probably one that her and Travis have gone hee 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 over. Like I'll give you that, but nothing more, nothing less.
Has anyone
my friends.
considered that The Alchemy was written before she even met Travis? Because Tortured Poets was being written for almost 2 years. Has anyone even thought about that?
100%. Oh, I've thought about it. I think about it every time I listen to it. How can you say, I circled you on a map? And this is what they say. Oh, Travis said that, or no, it was the meme on TikTok about like, Taylor's gonna put her on the map. Why would Taylor reference a TikTok meme in The Alchemy? Does anybody know?
Wouldn't. She doesn't look at TikTok.
She doesn't do like that.
Also, let's talk about production time, because the record needs to be sent to vinyl to get printed, and that lead time is at least 6 months when you're doing this volume. So she would have had to have everything completely finished and done and ready by, I guess, August or September, which is basically when they had just started dating. The Alchemy, again, is a song about return. It's about coming back to someone that you had once left in the past. The fact that So High School is on there is actually further proof to me that The Alchemy is not about Travis at all, because the last possible window of time that she would have had something to say about Travis could only have been something like So High School, because they had only just started dating.
And also, the anthology didn't have to get put onto a vinyl because there's no physical copy of it. So High School could have been written at any time. Mm-hmm. So that is probably, I mean, nobody's arguing that So High School is not about Travis Kelce, just to be clear. But
no.
I'm just saying, like, that is one that's much more, it just makes perfect sense, and that's why it exists. And The Alchemy could, in my estimation, literally not be about Travis. I mean, the vinyl pressing is a really, really big clue. And I mean, I assume you've played Tortured Poets on your vinyl, and The Alchemy plays, does it not? So you tell me.
They're gonna come. You know they're gonna clip this and go absolutely insane. So
well, fine, clip it. Listen,
you're welcome.
The people need
We're giving
to know
you something
the truth.
to talk about.
If anybody actually listened to my lyrical analysis, you would know the truth, because it goes
Blizzard
deep.
Review.
And
Listen
it's
to
scary.
the full thing. It's an hour long of defense of critical analysis against your delusion. And if
it's
you
freaky.
really are about that life, you'll listen to it. And if you come to us with The Alchemy is about Travis and you haven't listened to that, blocked.
Blocked? You're gone. You're out of here.
I'm only engaging with serious people from now on. I've decided.
Yeah.
Famous
there
last
you go.
words. Famous last words. Okay, let's do. Now, how spicy do we want to get? Let's do this one and see. I mean, this is
Hi, Snakes,
interesting.
Elias here. So I have an unpopular opinion about Taylor's love life. Don't get me wrong, I love her, but I think that she will not be able to be in a long-lasting relationship with a man as long as she does not break the cycle, jumping from one relationship into another one. Do I blame her? No. Do I think she's codependent? Well, yes. And yeah, you could say, yeah, but she was with the heirloom turkey for a long time, but that does not count in my head because I am very convinced that she just stayed with him for a longer time because of COVID and again to please him because he was sad, depressed, like, shut the fuck up. We don't care, basically. So that's not even valid to me anymore because of all the information we got on Midnights. So I don't know. I root for her. I think she needs therapy. I think she needs to do some inner healing. But I just think you sabotage your relationship from the start when you don't do all that before going into another relationship. So yeah.
Now,
This man thinks that my marriage is gonna end. Listen, you think my marriage is gonna end? That's your opinion, and you don't even know that, but that's what you just said. Your opinion is it's not possible for you to have a real meaningful connection with somebody if you are technically using that relationship to get out of another one. You cannot possibly have a meaningful relationship if you do that. And it's like, we don't even know that she was using I don't know, Travis or Maddie to get out of her relationship with Joe. I mean, there's lots of layers to it. I don't think that was the only thing that she was doing. So I kind of think like somebody's writing fan fiction again.
Some people in this world, and I know this particularly to be true about heterosexual women because, you know, I'm friends with many of them, are serial monogamists. They are just people that are always in a relationship until they find the right relationship. And then they stay in the one that is like meant for them or the one that they feel is best. And I think I understand the idea of like jumping from one relationship to another as a form of like rescue is maybe unhealthy. And that dynamic is really clearly displayed on Tortured Poets. And I think that's what maybe tripping them up is that you can see from the start how that situationship that she entered into post Joe was doomed because she clearly had not processed what she needed to process before getting into it. There was a lot of transference. It was messy. And I think that we don't know what happened after that. And it seemed like she had a really clean break with Maddie. I mean, once it was over, and she was ready to move on. And I think that Taylor is not one of those people. It's not like she can't be single. She has been single before. I mean, she jumps into relationships, but there was a good period of time between Harry and Calvin. That was a long period of time. She was very productive. She was a girl boss. She moved to New York City. She learned something then. And what she learned was that she needs her girlfriends and she needs to be a girl boss. And that lesson has stayed with her.
Mm-hmm.
She's a girl's girl.
Period.
That is a sign to me that she can be in a healthy relationship. If she can feel fulfilled by her friends and her family and her career without a man, then she's good.
And I definitely think that she can be. I just kind of think I think it's
she
an
chooses
unfair
not
assessment.
to be.
I think it's an unfair assessment to say that she will never have a good relationship because she can't help herself from whatever you want to call it. She cannot help herself from using somebody else to get out of the relationship that she's in. And I mean, she has not always done that. Like, to be
That's
clear,
not always
like
the case.
No,
Yeah.
it happened with Calvin
twice.
And yeah, it happened with Calvin and then it happened with Joe. And like that's just so happens to be the most recent relationships that have happened, but that's it. She didn't use Travis to get away from Maddie. She didn't use Harry to get away from whoever was before him, John. So I think that's I just think that was kind of unfair. And I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Well, that's where we get into the true parasocialism of it all and the like line, I guess. I think people get confused because we do have, to some people, invisible lines about things we will and won't speculate about. And that isn't quite there, but it's like leading towards something, which is making speculations about Taylor's like mental health or mental state without any corroborating evidence at all, like without any lyrical attachment, any interview from her. Like if we don't have proof of like a pattern of thinking or whatever, we generally try not to talk about it. And then we also don't talk about her body. We don't talk about plastic surgery or cosmetic whatever. Like there are lines that we have with Taylor. And I think that kind of brushes up against it. It wasn't wrong. Diva, we're not piling on you. We're not piling on you. But just a lesson to everyone. You all know that if you call into the snake hotline, you might get bit. When you put your hand in the viper's pit, sometimes you get a...
I love we both did that. Just a little head tilt.
Okay, what should we do next? Should we do something controversial? Okay, yeah. Why not? We're already here. We might as well.
Hi, I personally think that Taylor dating the boy on the football team is doing something irreversible to her psychologically, and I'm not sure if that's in a good way or a bad way, but yeah, it's definitely hitting on some trauma.
Oh. Okay, wait, okay. No, I'm gonna take this in the best possible faith that I can, because that really gagged me. Just from the drama of it. Like it's doing irreversible psychological damage to date Travis Kelce. But I'm gonna take it in good faith. I'm gonna say what she means is, what I'm taking what she means is that the chaos and like the circus around her dating Travis is gonna like be messy in the end. And I mean, I don't know about psychologically if that'll be messy for her, but I think if they break up tomorrow, yeah, that would be...
yeah, it's going to be an issue.
Outside of her, I do think it would be a big deal, but I don't think she's going to be traumatized. I think, is a strong word.
She's been through
is what I would
worse
say.
things. By all accounts,
girls.
This relationship is like fun and cheerful and joyous and just... girly things, having a kiki. And I think if we want to talk about traumatized, we really need to be circling back to the heirloom turkey. I don't know that we've processed all of that. I think she's healing from it, perhaps. And I think that being with someone like Travis is healing for her in a lot of regards, like someone that's proud to claim her in public and someone that, wants to see her succeed and stand by her side and is like her biggest cheerleader. I think that's something she's never had before. So I think that's doing psychological good damage. I think that's making her feel confident, which we love to see. But in terms of like damage being done, I think what she's trying to suggest here is that like Taylor has some sort of complex about being like a loser girl, wanting to date a football team guy. But she's the HBIC. She's the ITGIRL. I don't see that complex of I'm a loser, I have no friends rearing its head anymore. That hasn't peeked through in a really long time. Not since Lover, I would say.
No, I don't think that... It doesn't seem like a real problem to me. That seems like nothing. Like I understand going back to like 15 and being like, if all you're thinking about is like 15 the song and being like, there's more important things in life than being the popular girl who's dating the football player. It's like, well, even if Taylor wasn't dating Travis Kelce, she would still be the popular girl. So I think that I don't think there will be any psychological damage from dating Travis Kelce, at least not in the way that you think. Like not anything that we can guess at this time, because we're not in their relationship.
These people,
right? We do not know these people.
Them. And this is what I want to remind the Tavis as well. You don't know them. You don't know them. You don't know if they're getting married. You don't know if they're going to be together forever. You don't know if they're going to break up tomorrow. You don't know. And really, you should just clap and cheer and mind your business and eat your food.
Yeah. Well, you should probably just wait for TS12 and then you'll get your food and then you can enjoy that.
And that's when we make our decisions. That's when it's time to speak with certainty about
that's
damage.
When the council and the jury gathers.
and we'll be there. We'll open the session. We'll open the session. We'll throw down the gavel.
Part of the reason it's so interesting to me, because part of the reason why everybody liked Joe so much is so much of the stuff that she wrote about him in songs like on Lover, on Reputation, even some a little bit on Midnights as well, and writing songs with him on Folklore. And then with Travis, it seems to just like come from the fact that he's not Joe. which is really hilarious to me. That's why they're so into it. It's like, well, it's not Joe, and he's doing everything almost opposite to the way Joe did it. And
I think
it's just
the
interesting
Taylors
to me.
also have way more access to Travis than they've ever had to any other Taylor
Very
boyfriend.
true. Yes.
Because he's
Yeah.
always talking. He's always speaking.
Well,
and
he's
he's
Chatty
got
Cathy.
a podcast. He's like a sports influencer, basically. Like that's what he does. And apart from being, I don't know, whatever, all the things that he is that everybody gets mad at me for not knowing, he is readily accessible. And I think that makes people feel even more invested parasocially in their dynamic, because they're like, well, Taylor doesn't speak. We don't know anything about Taylor anymore, but we know
But
Travis
is on the
we
mic.
can get to
Travis,
Travis.
They can,
He'll
and
talk.
they do.
They feel like they
And he
know
does.
Taylor more through Travis now because she's dating someone that is open in a way that has never been. And I would like to remind you again that that's secondhand information, and you still don't know her.
Right. Very true.
Or him.
And that's that on that. And that's that on
That's
that.
that on that period. Let's get into this one. I don't even have the words. Just listen.
Hey, Zach Queen, it is me, Chris Pato. My unpopular opinion is that Taylor Swift's lyrics are not the best. There's way better artists than she. She's getting praised for things she does not deserve.
Who are you?
Who sent that in? Where did you put this?
Where did you come from? Oh,
did you
I
put that
only
on the
linked this
Patreon?
on the Patreon and the Discord. That's it. The link has not been shared outside of the space. It's addressed to me, first of all. Just to me. Hi, Zach.
Hi, Zach Queen. I was like,
Hi, Zach
okay.
Queen.
All right. That was ridiculous.
That's actually the stupidest one we've heard today.
I think Taylor's not a very good artist. What do you do? What? Why
are you on the Evolution of a Snake Patreon?
Why are we here? Why are we here?
To say
That's crazy.
that, I mean, I can accept that she's not the most innovative sonic artist. She's not the best singer, blah, blah, blah. Her lyrics are like the one thing. They're like
you
the
really
thing
can't.
that everyone agrees are good. The critics, her haters even will say that she can spit a bar. She's a writer, first and foremost. So that's nonsense. And to say there are other artists doing it better than her. Who?
Name
I'd
'em.
like to see. You know what?
Name
I
'em.
bet this person loves Lana Del Rey. Because I hear that
say,
from Lana stans all the time.
That's
Lana's
what they
a better
like.
writer. Can she be a better writer in 3 minutes and 20 seconds?
And you know what? When we get into these, like, who's a better songwriter, Lana or Taylor? Here, this is what I have
Apples
two questions for you. I have two questions for you. Number one, can Lana Del Rey write Blank Space? That's my first question. And my second question is, can Taylor Swift write Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? No. And why do we want that? Why do they have to be the same? That's what I don't get. Can't they be different? We all got crowns. What happened to that?
I just don't understand, like, who is doing it better than her? That really is a question I'm like, I would love to know. Like, I need you to write back in and tell us who it is doing it better than her. Yeah,
that's the thing.
More than one
Taylor
album.
is the most prolific songwriter. There is not a single album where I would say overall, this really wasn't written very well. Not a single one.
No.
Not even Lover. It was written well.
Not even
Midnight's,
which we've
written
said
well.
for being vague. Well written.
Right. Well written.
Taylor's bar of low quality for writing is a lot higher than most people's highest bar for good songwriting. And
I think we should say it. And I think we should say it.
Fact.
These people are really pushing me to my limit. This is evil. Like, there's sinister energy inside the phone. Like, this is like when a stranger calls. Seriously.
This is phone a snake and upset a snake. This is phone a snake to terrorize them in their own house. This is upset a snake. That's really what it is.
I don't want that.
We did ask for it. We did ask for it.
But I thought it was going to be like...
And we never will do it again.
I think that Lover is actually Taylor's best record. I thought it would be stuff like that. And then we could
Taylor's
have a chat.
A bad writer.
Not she sucks. It's like, why is there a somebody jeering and booing Taylor Swift?
How did you get in here?
Patreon?
How did you get in here?
That's crazy.
You know what? Thank God we don't open this up to the masses, because imagine if you ought to be on the Patreon to subscribe. And even so, I'm trying to think about ways to filter these people out. Next, let's do another delusional one. Actually, no, this one, I don't know. Again.
Hi, Zach and Madeline. My unpopular opinion is Taylor should not be making any political comments, and if she chooses to, she really feels she has to because of fake news around her. I understand that. It should be very brief. I don't know, you guys remember that in 2019 there was a Guardian article that she laid out in an article how much she doesn't like Trump, and that was like 5 years ago. And I understand this year she said there were some AI issues. Perfectly understandable. She'd like to clear that up. But I think it should be a lot briefer. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I just think in this climate, less is more. What do you guys think? Thank you.
Why was this call sent in from the Pentagon? Hi. I actually just I really just wanted to say like a top secret thing. Like I just wanted to ask you is Taylor, is she doing too much? Like have we compromised her security? Do we need to devote security?
No, it was very serious. It was like, this is
secret.
Deep Throat. This is fucking Deep Throat. Like this is Watergate. Like this is so serious.
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do about this?
What are we gonna do about Taylor getting political on Instagram? What are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do? What can we do?
What can we do?
The first question is, what do you want us to do? First of all, I mean, okay, saying that you want Taylor to do less is hilarious to me because this is less. Like, what else? Other than what she's done, it would be doing nothing at all. Like, this to me is the least option. She said once, emphatically, who she would like to be president, and she's leaving it at that and encouraging everyone to vote. What is that bad? I feel like that's like pretty much the bare minimum, I would think. Given that she has knighted herself as the politician of the pop music industry.
She did. And that's the thing, is like you saying, like, I don't really think Taylor should be getting political. It's like, and it doesn't really matter what I think or what you think or what anybody thinks, because guess what? She decided to put out Miss Americana, and she decided to say all kinds of shit about how she's always posting and this, that, or the other thing. She really has put herself in the sphere. And then it's to the point where if she takes herself out of it, it's like, well, why isn't she saying anything? Why is she being silent? Is it because she does secretly want Trump to be president? Because before she was always saying stuff. So now, unfortunately, we are in the timeline where it's like, you kind of gotta say a little something, especially when you're doing cozy, hug with Brittany Mahomes.
Oh, I think she wishes that she had never gotten political at all in the first place, and she has reverted back to her apolitical stance in her mind, because there is something to be said about it is the path of least resistance. And had she never said anything at all, there would be fewer demands. Although I don't think that she could have made it this far without eventually saying that she was liberal, because you can't be in the entertainment industry at that level of success and not be a public liberal. You just can't. And that's the only reason why she said that in the first place, by the way. It wasn't for the good of the nation. It wasn't because she wanted to become an activist. It was because I know that my career is not going to be able to progress the way that I want it to unless I tell everyone that I'm a liberal. And so she told everyone, and now she has to keep saying it, because when she moves in ways that may potentially contradict what she said in the past, she should clarify that. And I think an article from 5 years ago where she clearly outlined how she felt 5 years ago is not relevant now. We've had a pandemic. Like, the world is completely different. So people's opinions change as well. It's not like have you ever stated an opinion and then stuck to it for the rest of your life? No.
Right, exactly. People's opinions change all the time, and Taylor's also a person whose opinion can change all the time. Personally, for me, it's like when I think about Taylor's politics, here's what I think about, like, genuinely, not about my career, not about how people perceive me, not about how this is blah, blah, blah. Here's what I really think. Number one, I do truly believe that she thinks that she is a warrior, a Stonewall brick thrower for LGBTQ equality. And I do believe she very much firmly believes in LGBTQ rights. I think she believes in
100%.
Equality, equal marriage. Number two, I think she very firmly believes in like baseline leftist feminism. I think she very much believes that women deserve equal rights as men. I think she believes in reproductive freedom,
pay gap,
etc., pay gap, all that stuff. Those are the two things that I know about Taylor that I can say for certain that I know. And
the
those
rest,
are kind of,
I don't want to know.
I don't
think she has anything intelligent to add beyond those two things. Those things to me signal I believe in human rights, and I believe that people deserve to be free and live happily. And that's really, for me, politically, all I need to know. Unfortunately, at this moment in the climate that you're speaking of, the only way to say that is to not endorse the person who's against that.
Right. I mean, I think personally, I mean, my truth is, I think she had to endorse Harris. Like, she had to.
Oh, had
there was
to.
I'm not somebody who's sitting around thinking, why did she say anything? That was so wrong. I don't want her to say anything. Like, no. I needed it.
We expected it. Did we not say
Yep.
she's gonna?
Mhm.
We said closer to the
Mhm.
election she's gonna do a long Instagram post, and what happened? And we said she's gonna call herself a cat lady, and what happened?
And what happened?
Just as I predicted.
She's been waiting. The childless cat lady thing is the new, like, nasty woman.
She
Remember
put that
in, like,
in her pocket.
the
As
and stuff
soon
like
as
that
that
from
was
Hillary.
said,
Oh,
I
she
knew
was
Taylor was
ready.
gonna pounce.
She was ready.
She had that one
And
locked and loaded.
And
As she should.
I do believe that she genuinely thinks Trump is a dumb, idiot, evil man. I think she
Yeah.
really thinks that. And it's
Mhm.
crazy
She
to
hates
me,
him.
like, considering everything that she said about him that people desperately needed to know, but they did desperately need to know, unfortunately.
She
And,
called
well, here
him
we
a
are.
threat to democracy. She said, shame on you. She called him disgusting. Like, where do you invent these stories in your head? That, like, these are inventions, right? Like, what people say. These are just projections that you invent. So I think, you know what? This is the bare minimum. I don't think she should do more, but I certainly don't think she should do less.
I agree.
I like to be reminded every now and again that she's not a bigot. I don't mind that. I'll take it.
I know, I love it. I clap and I cheer.
It's no
Also,
sweat off
it
my back.
really kind of tickles me how upset people get. Like, people
Well,
like,
as soon
I'm
as she
throwing all
says
my Taylor
anything-
CDs out.
As
All
soon
that
as
kind
she
of
says
stuff. Did you
anything
see?
about anything like that, I'm like, I get why you really wait until you absolutely have to say something because it's just nonsense.
Did you see the girl who was building a bonfire in the street and she was ripping up her vinyl and, like, throwing it into the fire? And now I know I'm
Did
not
you not
Swiftie
know?
anymore. It's like, where
Did
have
you
you
not
been?
know? It
She's
hasn't
wearing
been a
Lover
secret.
merch. Lover.
Only the young? Miss Americana? That's about Donald Trump. Do you know that? Are you aware?
Well, this is what happens when you're a new Swiftie. You don't know these things. And show me the card. Bring the card out. Or did you burn the card in the fire too? Or did
That
you
is
never
the
even
theme
have one?
of today's episode. Show me
your
the
Swiftie card. Show it to me. Show it to
I'm
me,
taking
Rachel.
it away.
You don't get
can't
it.
have it anymore.
You can't
That's
have it.
It's over for you.
And that's
like
on period.
it is like the I hate Taylor Swift tweet. Iconic. But also terrifying a little bit. Like, I don't know. I don't like the idea there is a safety element to consider in terms of these delusional people being mobilized against someone like Taylor Swift, who's
there are some really crazy people. I mean, obviously, you know, they try to get Trump. They try to get Trump failure after failure.
They just can't get it together, can they?
But there are people who are gonna try to get Kamala Harris as well. Like this, like, you know, fake outrage that, like, JD Vance is doing. Like, how dare the liberal, blah blah blah. It's like, they're gonna try to get Kamala too. Everybody's trying to get everybody all the time. So, like, in politics, especially
They'll get
now,
Taylor.
there is an element to, like, you know, what's gonna happen. Although I have to say, Trump's Secret Service flops.
Girls.
Like,
Girls.
there's no reason.
You know who has better security than Donald Trump? Taylor Swift.
Taylor
and thank
Swift.
God for that.
And thank God for that. And that's really on period. So some of this, like, rhapsodizing about how, like, Taylor can never speak again because the terror that's going to rain down upon her will be too much. It's like, well, I mean,
it's a concern, but also
she's in a better position than most. So I think that's kind of, I think we're being histrionic a little bit.
She also,
like,
wouldn't, if it was that dangerous, she wouldn't say something.
Right.
If
Donald
it was
Trump,
that, if there were Taylor like Swift. That many.
Honestly, I hate how funny he is. I hate how much of a crack up he is. It's literally crazy.
And you know what? Sometimes I relate when, you know, I don't have reputation.
Oh,
TV.
I relate.
I hate Taylor
Let me
Swift.
tell you, I hate Taylor Swift.
I hate Taylor Swift. But at the end of the day, I have to say, you know, and my concluding message for this Phone a Snake is I love Taylor Swift and you are crazy.
Yeah, and that's on period. And I want to see the cards. Lay them out on the table because you got to be revoking. I'm taking your license away. Everybody that sent in a Phone a Snake today that I heard has had their Swiftie license revoked and suspended. And you have to prove
10 points on your license.
your way back in. You have to prove your way back in to
done.
get it. You cannot drive in Swiftie
And if
land.
you dare face us again in next month's Phone a Snake, see you there. See you there. Thank you for tuning into Phone a Snake. You know where to find us, patreon.com/Rotologist. We're about to go record our private Phone a Snake episode, which I hope will go, you know, more swimmingly than this one. Goodbye.